Hey everyone, Tommy from TechNexus, and thanks for joining me on a new week. Now, I know I've covered, a lot of the other sort of CAD slash BIM kind of packages in the AEC collections, but I thought I might do a week of videos for, to demonstrate to new people who are looking to jump into AutoCAD or switching in from maybe LT to AutoCAD. And I'm just going to go through sort of some of the basics here, what you can do, what you can't do, and then just go through the week, just spending a bit of time on the AutoCAD settings, the interfaces, so things like the options, what you can and can't do, things with the menus, the palettes, and I guess some of the more basic commands as well. Now, for the new people watching, AutoCAD's been around for a long time. I think it's 30 odd years. I think it was around the early 80s that it was sort of launched as AutoCAD. There is a bit of history previous to that. It was called something else, and then it just became AutoCAD, and it's pretty much, almost basically the default for CAD, other than its sort of direct competitor MicroStation. AutoCAD users and MicroStation users, sometimes they mix. I know I can use both, and I have done both in the past, and it doesn't bother me. But I have heard stories of people who just flatly refuse to use MicroStation, and then MicroStation users who flatly refuse to use AutoCAD. So I think, like anything, software or hobbies or anything like that, you get camps who who aren't too fussed, and then you get people who are just staunch users of whichever CAD package they want. But for this AutoCAD, you can see here on the screen, it's evolved. It used to have menus up and down the side here, and I think it was around the 04s or 05s. I think the 2004-05 releases that they switched over to a ribbon, and from memory, I think it was something to do with Microsoft because they wanted to standardize across with that ribbon. So I think a lot of the Windows packages started sort of utilizing it. There are toolbars still. So for the sort of more seasoned users watching this video, the toolbars are still there, but they no longer have labels. So it's going to be kind of hard to see what kind of toolbars you have and you want to use, and I think that was a reason as well why a lot more people use the ribbons and the palettes these days, just because toolbars have sort of gone the way of the dinosaur. They're still around. If you type in CUI, you will see functions there for toolbars as well, but again, I haven't seen people use toolbars for years. For the graphical user interface, the GUI, so we have the sort of the drawing pane in here. So this contains all of the elements that you'll use to draw with or to draft with. Down the bottom we have our model and layout tab. So usually you work in a model space, so you draw everything as a one-to-one. So you can see that this is 100 units across and 100 units high, and depending on where you are in the world, you've got decimal engineering, fractional, you've got degrees, minutes, seconds. You can do it feet and inches, or millimeters, and obviously you can just pick whichever way you want to do it. So this is the GUI, and then what you have, the layout is for when you putting a scale on the viewport on a sheet. And I think I might cover that later in the week, but essentially the paper space tabs, or the layout tabs down here, is the paper space. So it is literally the paper that you put onto your board or your desk or whatever, and then these viewports are scaled in a fashion to suit that everything you have here at 1 to 2. So even if I do dimension that item, you can see it still comes out as 100 millimeters, even though we've got a 1 to 2 scale on it. So you have all of those kind of options. We can create multiple layout tabs in every CAD file. It just really depends on corporate preference or user preference as to how you want to draw one CAD file with 50 layouts in it, or just do 50 separate drawings, and it's up to you. You have the command line here. So the command line can be transparent, solid, or you can have it stretch the whole screen. You can drag it around. You can dock it to the bottom. You can have it sort of sitting on a second screen. I've got a second screen here, but I usually keep the command line down below. You can stretch it out and get 2 or 3 lines, and it'll show you. If you press F2, you'll get a history of what's happened there as well. So again, you're not going to lose sort of the commands that you've done in the past. Down here, you've got the coordinates, which model space you're in, various drafting tools, so snap modes, annotation scales, workspace scales, all of that kind of stuff down there. Top left, you have the big application icon, so the big AutoCAD A, new drawings or sheet sets, obviously open files, even opening DGN. So opening of DGNs has been around for a few years now, so again, you can open MicroStation files if you need to. You can look at sample files, save as, import, so importing PDFs, DGNs or other formats as well, exporting out to various formats, DWIF and DGNs, publish, sending out files. If you do an e-transmit, it packages up the files, the XREFs and the fonts and CTBs, all that kind of stuff. You can send it out. Printing, so it's a single plots, batch plotting, page setup, all that kind of stuff, and any other drawing utilities, so purging, comparing units, all that kind of stuff, which you saw just before there as well. So that's where you'd look at that. You have this sort of quick access toolbar at the top here, so for new and again, you can go through and customize it. This is the ribbon, this top part here. And also as well, usually if you click on the quick access bar, you can click on menu bar, and you can see there's menus that fly out from the top there as well. So if you are going to be customizing, you can do the ribbon, the menus or palettes, or a mix of both or anything. And then you've got the tabs up here. So these will be for each individual drawing itself. So this is the CAD file at the top, and then down the bottom are the individual models and paper spaces in every file there as well. Okay. Usually in an AutoCAD sense, you'll mix it up between 2D or 3D, depends on which way you want to look at it. If you want to switch to 3D, you can click on the home icon there. It rotates the view. You can press shift and your middle mouse button. It rotates the view around, or you can click on the view cube to switch between left, front, right, all of that kind of stuff as well. If you switch to home, it'll take you back. To get the view cube, you can click on your view and click on the little minus sign at the top there, the viewport controls. You can turn the view cube on and off, and the navigation bar. So navigation bar is just a quick way to drag and navigate around your model. Otherwise, you can use shift and middle button to rotate, middle button to pan, all that kind of stuff. I can switch to, again, the model views come from this custom view, so I can go back to my top view, and I can also look at something in conceptual or other modes. So if I extrude this and draw a box, then you can see I can go from conceptual to hidden light, realistic, shaded, even X-ray. So I can sort of see what's going on in the background. You can see it's kind of shaded there as well. Okay. So that's the GUI. Oh, and before I forget, so up here, so if I've got the help here, I can type in line. It takes me straight to the help file for line. And also as well, this will link you to AKN articles. It'll link you to forum questions as well. So you get a whole listing of different things you can do with commands. So you've got search results, your A360 account, which you should always be logging into, the Autodesk App Store. So the App Store is somewhere where people upload scripts or routines, and there might be things that will help you with your day-to-day usage of AutoCAD there as well. So check it out if you want to have a look at things like extra fonts, okay, mapping, line types, all of that kind of stuff. There's a whole bunch of things to have a look at there. And as well, you've got other things like AutoCAD links and other sort of bits and pieces as well there, and obviously the help, any feedback, desktop analytics, and all about your AutoCAD there as well. So that's, if someone says, they ask you what version of AutoCAD, you can come up here and click on About AutoCAD 2020, and it'll tell you the proper version here. So there hasn't been a hotfix issued for this yet, but so we're still at base 2020. So when a hotfix does come up, it might be 2020.1 and all of that kind of stuff there as well. So that's all we're doing today for the introduction to AutoCAD, and then coming up for the rest of the week, we'll have a look at things like just creating a few sort of basic 2D elements at first, moving, annotating, and then we'll make a drawing by the end of the week, and hopefully that gives you enough insight into how you would use AutoCAD for all you people who are looking at it first up. So thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumb down if you didn't, but please do subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon for daily notifications of all of my videos, and I will see you tomorrow for some more AutoCAD. See you later.